Thank you. I'm happy to present our next keynote, which is Jeff Staes. He is an innovation expert, global speaker, and the founder of Red Monkey Company. Jeff Staes is an authority on learning processes, innovation, and culture change. With the decennia of professional experience, he currently assists CEOs and managers to find a comprehensive answer to the changing dynamics of today's market. Welcome, Mr. Staes.
Hi, I hope this is the first question we ever asked. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I can continue. So I'm not going to share my desktop. You just have to click to me as a speaker because I'm using different technology. So thank you very much for letting me joining this conference and talk something about my experiences in learning and agile and innovation. At this moment in time, I'm 64 and I'm very agile. So I hope for you it's the same thing. But I have a history. I'm coming from software development, telecommunication. I was a trainee manager. I was a corporate learning officer for Siemens Belgium in telecommunication, and I became independent in 2002. And I can be a little bit confrontational in what I'm going to say. So if you disappear, no problem with that. So let's start with the keynote about the power defect. The first thing we have to answer ourselves before we start talking about agility and everything else is what is happening with the world. Because what I see is that a lot of organizations are trying to transform to learning innovation. I see that education is also trying to transform to something else. And I see that in all over the world, it's the same challenges. There aren't many differences, except access to technology, etc. But from a human point of view, it's the same. So what I always try to do when I do a keynote like this is trying to create a kind of a canvas so we understand each other in wording. And so now I'm going to talk to you about Switch 3D. After this session, it will become clear. But what happened with the world is we transformed. We transformed from a period of information shortage. This means when I was 10 years old, which was in 1966, we didn't have internet. So if we want to learn something, we had to go to the library or to school. That was in 1966. Today, every child of 10 years old can go to the internet. But I think in 1966, it was predictable. That's why I call it 2D, it's flat. So you could predict what's going to happen within 15 years. So if no wars happened and you didn't have Trump, then you know what's going to predict. It's a 2D, it's flat. But I worked in telecommunication, and what I saw that is the amount of information accessible for everybody increased dramatically. So we're not living anymore in a time period of information shortage. We are living in a time frame of information luxury. This means that everybody who has access to other people and the internet can learn now. You don't have to wait. So this changes everything. So what I saw is the world has changed to something else. It's not flat anymore. It's not predictable. You don't even know what is happening today. You don't know what happened last week. So you can't predict anymore 10 years from now what's going to happen. So it changed because everything is changing like this. So that's what I call 3D. There's another dimension. And it makes sure you can't see the future. So this is happening. So if you look to this thing, then we are facing a switch. And that's the reason I use these words. We are switching from 2D to 3D. And it's a completely different environment. And we are now talking, or I'm talking about 2D smarts, which are people who are very valuable in this old age, and 3D smarts, which are people who are very valuable today. And 3D smarts are most of the time passionate, talented people, access to information, they learn every day. They don't need teachers, right? And 2D smarts, they went to school and they need teachers because otherwise they can't learn. So these are all the people with a degree, and these people don't have diplomas. So this is 2D smarts and 3D smarts. And what is happening today, it's a battle of the smarts. That's what Darwin said. So Darwin says, if something happens and we have to adapt, then the people with the best competences adapt and the other ones don't adapt. And this is happening. So what I see now, and I'm coming from industry, that we see a lot of polarization and we see a lot of conflicts, but it's always about the same stuff. Two groups of people who were brought up differently and they are in a fight. So if we want to transform education, whether or not you call it agile or not, we have to realize that we are facing a drama. It's really a drama. It's dramatic. This means that people are losing value and other people are gaining value.